Gentlemen No Class is proud to be a part of the HC Universal Network. Gentlemen No Class is produced, mixed, and edited by M5 Studios.
This podcast contains explicit language and is intended for adult audiences. The views and opinions of Gentlemen No Class are strictly for comedic purposes and should not be taken literally. For instance, like this disclaimer. Now grab yourself a pint and enjoy.
Welcome to another episode of Gentlemen No Class, a podcast that when the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. I'm Jake.
I'm Randy.
I'm supposed to be Paul. That's bullshit, though.
And I'm Rob.
And like it or not, gentle ladies and gentlemen, we are the hosts for tonight's episode. What is that? What do you mean that's bullshit? What's bullshit about
I don't know.
being Paul?
You being Paul is
a lot
bullshit?
of things are.
Being Pauled.
Welcome
Yeah.
back to the show,
I'm not
Randy.
appalled.
We haven't had you on in
Yeah.
it's been
Wow.
quite
Last
a while.
time was we discussed UFOs, aliens, and
yeah,
like.
some
Oh, yeah,
paranormal
that's
stuff. I think it was
right. Yeah.
October 2018.
Damn,
I don't remember that, but I believe you.
Yes.
that
You
sounds
should.
about right.
Okay.
You should. I
Well-
have pictures.
I have pictures.
So tonight we're going to be discussing. I don't even know how to really lead off the topic. We're going to be talking about
Put your
COVID.
seatbelt on first before
We're going to
you-
be talking about COVID and the conspiracy theories that surround
Yeah.
COVID because we love conspiracy theories. So
Yeah.
we're gonna keep on that. Paul's gonna lead this.
No.
This was your idea. So,
No, actually, it was Randy. He pitched it to me.
Okay.
I called you out.
Man,
Yeah. Why don't you hit that pitch
high.
again?
With that
At the
being said,
time.
it's like what Rob's.
I remember.
But here's the thing. Up front, research. We did the best we could.
Yeah, so
But-
that's one of the things that really comes across. I think we were talking about like how this episode was going to go and what topics we were going to chase and et cetera, et cetera. And as we all came together for the episode, we realized that it's really hard to get all the actual facts surrounding this crisis and pandemic because there's so much misinformation. So we kind of decided that we're just going to roll with kind of what we all know from what we've intaken from our own, social media and news outlets that we've had to deal with. So, we'll kind of just, I don't know, we'll kind of just like kickstart it off. I don't know. Where do you want to start it off?
Yeah, Paul.
Kind of a backstory on like what happened. So apparently I think the first reported case of COVID-19 was reported in the Wuhan province of China, and that was in like October of last year.
I think so.
October of last year, after some idiot ate a bat.
Now, is that the reason?
Well, that's so. There's been CDC reports back to like October, like 2015, 2016, where we had like virus chase. We had a team that Trump disbanded, but they were like basically like researching pandemics. And that was one of the things that they brought up. They were like, with the high concentration of coronaviruses in bats and things like that, and the fact that like people in China like eat anything basically, like the odds. I mean, that's what it says. Like the consumption of odd animals like bats and snakes and things like that.
Yeah.
And the high concentration of coronaviruses in these animals, like
In those wet markets.
whatever that is.
Yeah, it's when they have all those animals and they're just everywhere. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was basically like
if it's
a
got
pandemic
meat on
of a
it,
coronavirus.
they'll sell it and they'll eat it. It's fucked up.
Yeah. It's basically like it was
fucked
inevitable.
up to
is
the
what
Western
report said.
civilization of life, right? I think if you're over
Yeah, it's all
there, it's probably
perspective.
it's
Yeah,
probably
of course,
normal.
because we
Yeah.
don't do
Yeah.
that. They do that.
Exactly.
It's accepted. It's
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah,
But over
exactly.
here, it's fucking wacko.
Yeah.
But do you really know what you're eating?
Yeah. Well, even here.
Yeah.
You could say the
Exactly.
same thing about
Yeah,
here.
of
Hot
course.
dogs. What the fuck is that?
Yeah. They're delicious, but
I don't want to think. I don't want to think about it when I'm
Fuck it.
eating because it's gonna ruin the fun.
yeah.
So like a broad overarching kind of deal with this, this has kind of taken over our entire lives the past
Yeah.
6
And
months, basically.
and we don't know for how long. Well, the question is for how long is what's societal norms. It's changed so much in the past 3 or 4 months. It's conditioned us and it like to a degree where it's hard to believe anything.
Right.
Because there's such a heavy division on
So-
everything.
Paul, why don't you talk about, since like you were the one, like this was kind of like y'all's pitch idea, and like this kind of came up as we were talking about this. You were trying to research this. Why don't we kick it off with that? Like, what did you come across as you were trying to research facts for this episode? What did you come across?
Well, you got the main one. Like, okay, the first one I've heard when I heard conspiracies about this was 5G. And that's pretty fucking ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah.
It's so getting conversations with my dad about it. It's like, the thing is, like, there's not that many 5G towers.
Yeah.
And there's only so many countries too. And not to mention, people have actually, I don't know which countries, but they've actually burned down. They've taken down towers because of it.
In the UK.
Okay, I think that's where it's at. Yeah. So, it gets a bit ridiculous.
What's the background behind that? Did you find any, like, what background, like they were saying? Like,
it was, man, like, I'll be honest, when I was listening and trying to listen to all this stuff, it just seemed so irritating. It was just hard to digest and hard to listen. But a lot of them, they've been saying, they said the same thing when, 3G and 4G, before too. It wasn't as much as an impact right now, but they said the same thing that is affecting us, or causing, not necessarily a virus, but it's causing harm to a certain extent,
Right.
which I don't know if there's even proof for that.
Well,
But-
so the big overarching conspiracy that I heard doing research
Why
for
did
it,
Rob here?
and tell me, we can kind of align on this. Maybe you've heard it because it ties into that also. It's basically the gist is like. They want to put some kind of tracking device in everybody so that they can tell what's going on all the time.
Right.
So the idea was to use a vaccine to do that. So
ID
Yeah, like,
the way that they were doing this was like they waited until there was
Opportunity.
there was an opportunity. They took they took the COVID and purposely spread it further than it would have gone normally.
Yeah.
Spread misinformation about the seriousness of the disease
Yes.
and fudge the statistics behind it,
Yes.
so that when the vaccine comes out, everybody gets the vaccine, and that will implant some kind of tracking device that will be able to be tracked and activated by the 5G towers.
Yeah.
And that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, since they do a lot of vaccines worldwide, they do a lot of vaccine funding and stuff worldwide. That they're the ones kind of behind this whole thing. Tying into this makes it this big global overarching conspiracy.
Yes.
So is it like you thinking that? So I also heard somewhere where the actual swabbing of the nasal cavity is actually putting something in your body instead of testing it, or B, for like a tracking purposes, or B, spreading the virus itself.
I don't
So
think
eventually
so.
you'll get it.
I don't think so. I just think I'm not sure what president. It was this African president. I can't remember the country right now, but he sent in fake samples to the WHO, and it was like papaya and something else, and they came back positive. So it's like
Really?
they're just trying to push
Wow.
this whole everything is positive.
Yeah.
To try to
not to
instill-
mention too,
it's-
like when
it's
certain
crazy.
people have
it's
like a
not
heart
even-
attack or some kind of other death, they'll consider it as a COVID death as well.
Well,
That's tribute to it.
Well, that's if you read the
he got hit by an 18-wheeler,
Yeah.
but
But he
if
had
you
truly
read,
died
if
by
you read the
COVID.
statistics, if
Yeah.
you read the statistic that comes out, it says COVID. It says deaths involving COVID. So if you have COVID and you get hit by a truck, like Paul was saying, then that would count towards that statistic.
And doesn't that make you kind of think like,
Yeah.
why are they trying to push this?
Yeah,
It does.
I've also heard too. I didn't really look into it, but people are saying a lot of these numbers are inflated, and that's where, like I said earlier, it's like it's really hard to believe what to believe what's out there, because there's so much disinformation.
Well,
and there's
it's hard to track. So like you have to look at it like this. So like the China quit doing testing basically. So they were like, oh, they're like, oh yeah, we're good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were just like they're just like they're going to let the virus run its course.
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
going to track it anymore.
I've-
But in the like here, like people want to know like how bad the pandemic is or whatever. So like they want to track everything. But the thing that throws off those statistics, if you've ever taken like a statistics class, is there's no way to control for people taking multiple tests.
Yeah.
There's no way to there's
no control group.
yeah, there's no accurate way to test.
Yeah, it's just
you
a
know,
fucking mess.
because the testing itself is so hard, and you don't have like a controlled, like
A control group.
not a control
Yeah.
group, but
Yeah.
like I mean like even if you didn't have a control group, you could at least have like
A controlled
the control could
environment or
be
something.
the control could be like the testers.
Yeah.
We don't even have that. So like you get a lot of false negatives and a lot of false positives.
Yeah.
And that's what the problem is like
See,
and-
this is where I come in. I never kind of cared about the origin of the virus. I think that just doesn't matter.
It's irrelevant kind of thing.
Yeah. I just started, I swear, ever since this came out, I just kept on focusing on why every politician was talking about testing.
Yeah.
And I would be like, why aren't we talking about a vaccine or deaths? No, they always talked about testing. So they're like trying to bring the cases up. So I always thought that was weird. Why are they always talking about testing and not like, the cure? Like they just want the numbers to go up.
Yeah,
Which
and
is
also
weird.
too, like for how long?
Yeah.
how long is life going to be like this? It
Yeah.
seems like is this the new norm? And I
no,
just,
I mean, I would hope not. I, think
don't
that,
know
I think
what
that
life
society
is gonna-
would push back against
think-
it. But
yeah, and it just I don't know. You're just seeing all these. A lot of businesses are suffering. A lot of people are suffering because of
Yeah.
this, and which is one of the points I wanted to bring up too. Was I don't know if it's a conspiracy, but like talking about an opportunity for like corporations to mainly take over and kill like the mom and pop shops,
Yes.
and like I've correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that small businesses and individual people that are on their own make up a majority of our economy. And it seems like the corporations would have like they can survive because they're fucking corporations.
Of
They got
course.
money,
And it was Embers.
Yeah,
So we closed down the small businesses and we let Walmart, Target,
yeah, and they all
open,
rule like
Academy.
I've seen this
But-
in movies.
but-
Yeah.
Like it's scary.
It's
But
just-
Like
the small
it's like almost
businesses-
like corporatism getting involved
Yeah.
in the politics.
And I think we're getting ahead. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I was going to talk about how, the Nazis were what's going on. It's nationalist, socialist. It's when corporations take control of the government, and that's what's going on.
Yeah.
And
That's what's scary.
We've had lobbyists forever, and that was a back door for corporations to take control
Yeah, oh, it's
of our
Oh,
government. And I mean, the word Nazi gets thrown out, so like
Yeah, it's
Nazi,
losing its value
so it
and
loses
meaning.
its value. But that's what's going on right now. The corporations are taking control of the government,
Yeah.
and whatever they want. I mean, look at Trump. He had all the biggest CEOs of the corporations behind him when he was giving his COVID speeches and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not part of the government. Why are they
Yeah.
there?
Well, I mean,
It seems like
from like on the flip side of that, you have to look at like from the government's perspective, they're trying to save as many jobs as possible. You know what I mean? So the easiest way to save jobs is to keep businesses open. And who employs more? Do you save the mom and pop shops that employ 15 to 50 people,
Yeah.
or do you save the big corporations that employ
but,
Yeah.
but you're
It's
closing
tens of thousands
But you're
of
closing
people.
the small shops for what? For COVID. Yet Walmart has 1,000 people in there.
Before you
What's-
get into that, though, it's like there also this bailout money that was thrown that these small businesses
Oh, yeah,
were
yeah.
able to get $120,000.
Yeah,
Okay,
a
and
lot
now-
of the corporations took a lot of that.
A lot of,
money, too.
and that's fucked up. The big corporations,
Yeah.
like McDonald's?
yeah, and
They're coming out right now. They're called PPEs or whatever. All these billionaires
Triple
were getting
Ps,
so.
I think.
Oh, Judd Apatow, his filming business
Studio?
got money. It's like, why?
Yeah, and that's bullshit.
Crazy.
Yeah, damn. Really?
I mean, I love
didn't
his
know that.
movies. I love his movies, but
yeah,
crazy.
he also supports Roman Polanski too, so I'm kind of iffy on
yes,
that.
Yeah.
So
That's
Jake,
a different story.
Finish your thought.
No, I'm
Jake.
just saying. I'm just saying the small businesses got 120,000, bailout if you're able to get it in time and file it for it in time.
You could file up to 10 million.
Was it okay? Well, I think the minimum was 120,000. So I guess it's depending on whatever your yearly sales is or whatever. I don't know, but that also pays for your employees that have to take leave due to getting tested positive,
right?
Or closing down and making your monthly marks. How long is this going to be? We don't know. Is this going to be the norm? We don't know.
Yeah.
But the thing is that in everyday life before this, we would see people with face masks and we would look at them and like, okay, they're probably sick, and they were just taking precautions. It was usually probably the elderly that was wearing it and probably with the hospital wristband. But now,
people from China too.
But now it's like,
yeah, that's true.
It's like I don't think it's that the face mask is ever going to go away. You're going to have people that are so paranoid they're going to wear face masks all the time.
Yeah,
and we're going to look at that like, okay, that's normal.
That's when you're wearing it 8 hours a day, you're depriving. It's some you need oxygen in your brain.
That's not true.
Yeah,
no.
Really?
Yeah, that's not true.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
because you need oxygen.
I did research that, at least that part of it, like.
Because I don't like it when I feel like shit when I work with it.
Like if if you talk about a cloth, let's just talk about a cloth face mask. Let's just talk about a cloth face mask.
I deserve that.
You're talking about a cloth face mask that can filter particles down to a certain micron level.
Yeah.
And oxygen is so much smaller than that. Like it's basically breathing through.
And I mean, what about surgeons? I mean, during a 4-hour surgery, I mean, they don't complain. I mean, it's
12, 15 hours.
Or the ones that have that fucking CPAP machine. You're wearing a mask, but it's not pumping oxygen. It's just air. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's just to help you breathe. So I think I guarantee if you wear that mask and you take that mask off, you're going to be like, fuck, man, I cannot sleep with this shit on, but you're going to be sleeping for 8 hours with it.
Yeah. I mean, what the deal is like you're talking about in your case, I think that like what the biggest deal with that is getting used to getting used to the mask.
It sucks.
It does suck, but I mean, you have like it's not just the intake of oxygen; it's the exhalation of carbon dioxide, and you can get carbon dioxide poisoning. You can have too much CO2.
And you're like breathing your own breath.
Yeah, exactly.
Nonstop.
Like
and
nonstop.
That's a concern.
And that is a concern. I mean,
that's not going to happen.
And it's like that's why you don't need to wear like those N95 masks. You're not going to pass out from wearing one of these masks that they talk about, like that cloth mask or whatever. That's really, if everybody's wearing. There's a lot of videos out there that will like that break down the explanation of like it's basically like. I like the video that I like the best is the piss in your pants video.
Yeah, there you go.
Have you ever
visual
seen
picture? Yeah, where like
so
if you're both naked.
It's like if you're both naked and Randy pisses, like it's gonna get all over me, right?
Yeah.
If Randy pisses and I'm wearing pants, I'm still gonna get piss all over me, but it's not gonna get my skin soaking wet.
Yeah.
But if Randy's wearing pants and I'm wearing pants and Randy pisses, I'm not really going to get that wet. I'm not going to get.
There's logic behind that.
See, but I mean, just speaking of wearing the mask, I think that's doesn't even matter. Like, just wear the mask. It's like no shoes, no shirt, no service.
Well,
now it's gonna be.
I've already
mask,
seen that.
That's
already
okay.
seen size. No shoes, no shirt,
and that's
now,
okay.
No mask, no service.
But that's okay.
But it fucks my beard up, bro.
Well, no, it sucks.
Well, beard oil.
So I wear this scarf. It's like
that's
kind
what
of
I do. I wear a bandana.
And I just pull it up, and I think that's a little
just
bit more.
You're
protected.
a badass, all right, Rob.
I am.
All right.
All I'm saying is that my everyday life, I work in a retail environment, and I deal with 300 people at minimum a day, and the people that like fuck you, I'm not wearing a mask. I mean, I'm not going to label them, but they're fucking conservative behind them, you know? And it's
Yes.
like, what's so wrong with wearing
Yes.
a fucking mask,
And
man?
we were talking about that.
Yeah.
I don't
you know,
get
Well,
that.
the
shit-
the
the
thing is, like,
liberals
when it
wearing
comes,
masks.
yeah, it's got political sides on it. At one point, it wasn't. Now it has ties to it. If you don't wear a mask or you refuse to, you're conservative. But if you're supported and you do, you should say wear a mask.
That's
and
terrible. I probably
then
shouldn't
it's
have
like
said that.
liberal.
I probably shouldn't
But it's the truth. I agree with you,
know,
though. It's what, from what I've seen.
But
and-
that's me being labeling them. I shouldn't say that, but you know, to back that up, Bedrock City
Call 'em
Comics, Bedrock City Comics.
Yeah,
It's a
well,
big
they're
comic
everywhere
book
for
store.
everything.
Big comic book store in
Yes, I
Houston.
saw that video.
There's a video of a guy
Yes,
not
yes.
wearing a mask. A guy,
Uh-huh.
the employee goes up there, hands him a mask.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not wearing that. I'm not wearing that. And then he grabs the mask and just chunks it to him.
Yeah.
And he,
Yeah.
And
but
he
they
walks
found
out.
him. They
Uh-huh.
found him on Facebook and
Yeah.
it's, Trump this and
Yeah.
you know, Democrat sucks
I don't
this, and it's
understand
like
that.
I don't get that shit either.
I don't
like, what is
understand that. I mean,
that's the data I had to back that
but
up.
the masks don't matter. It's
I
about
honestly-
what
does.
I
I-
mean,
honestly,
it's all of like it's all a matter of perspective of what's the first step.
Yeah.
What's that for? Like you brought up the Nazis and like
Yeah.
people love to bring up like fascism,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
things
God.
like that, and you know they love to bring up like you know, but it's every step towards total government oversight.
I know.
Right, of course.
That well, that's what we've gotten to. Like it's they don't want to give up anything about it. And I'm trying to talk about this without like letting my own personal views come into play. But like it basically comes down to the point with like if you all submit to this, then what's the next thing?
Yeah.
Everybody submits to that. Then that's
it's
okay.
kind of like
It's a
the Jews. Like,
cascade.
all right, let me wear the Star of David.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
And
we'll all
then,
live in the same neighborhood.
All it takes is
Okay,
a crack,
cool.
a crack in the door to open to
Yeah,
be into the
exactly.
room.
And
I
I
know,
think
yeah.
It makes sense.
honestly, like as speaking as like from like a conservative standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
like just like seeing where they're coming from, like any step in that direction. If you have to fight it as long as you can,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
you know what I mean, so that the other side sees where you're coming from.
But you have to pick your battles.
Yeah, there you go too.
And I mean, the mask. If the collective, you know, if society's saying wear the mask because we're helping people, just wear it. I mean,
Like,
it's
so the
But
logic,
that's
just-
what the Nazis said.
Yeah.
Wear the
just,
Star of
just
David.
wear your
Well,
Star of David. Yeah, but
Yeah.
You're helping
but
things.
everyone is.
but what's the logic
Everyone's
behind
wearing it.
the
Not
logic behind the
just
Star
a
of David
certain-
was what?
I get
The
it.
outcome, yeah.
I get
the
it.
result.
That's what I'm saying.
See, that's-
and it's this, but I think that the fear, the overarching fear, is that this
Yeah.
leads to this.
Yeah.
All it took was we gave up control for this.
But what
And
I'm
then,
saying
like,
is people are focusing on masks instead of look at the lobbyists. I mean, why are we focusing on masks while not? It always boils down to money.
Yeah, like we're talking about. Yeah,
lobbyists.
It's all.
So no
this
one is
all
talking about the
backed by-
super PACs. The super PACs have been going on for years. You know, all these people
The real problems,
spending so
yeah.
much money on their parties. Yet right now we're talking about
super
masks. It's like,
super
dude,
Yeah.
come on.
It's this division that's
That's
creating.
what I'm trying to get at. Like,
Yeah,
like
this-
fuck the masks,
it's-
dude. The
this might
masks
be a
don't
stupid
matter,
question.
But
it makes us go
it's a
crazy
heavy-
instead of really
This
focusing
is
on the problem.
The mask is just one thing currently. What's going on in our country? Well, you know, maybe in the world too, but just focusing here in America. You know, as far as like this civil, like, well, just division. There's just so much division on
And that's the
on
media's
a lot
fault.
of things. Yeah,
Because people watch
I know,
Fox,
yeah,
CNN,
all
MSNBC.
this shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't play. I was telling Jacob too. Is like, man, like I try not to watch. I have like or on YouTube like independent journalists and other people on YouTube that do. I like to listen to them a little bit more because they seem like they actually do their research and they have a lot of them are unbiased and they don't try to take a side. But when it comes to the mainstream media, it just this heavy division. Like, I'm not playing this game. I don't want to be. I don't want to be part of like the fighting. Like, to be honest, the whole mask thing, I don't. I honestly I don't want to wear it, but I'll do it. I'll do it because hey, it's the way it is.
Right.
It's I'm not gonna go. I don't want to. it's just I'm not gonna be bitching like I see these videos and like you were telling me, well, I'm not a sheep. Oh, I'm not one of those fucking people. To be honest, I quietly protested myself, and I'll still wear it though because that's what the rules are. Like it sucks, but I do it anyway. I do. It's no problem really, but I really don't want to do it though. At the same time,
most people don't want to do it.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't want to. I don't want to wear shoes when I go to the store. I don't want to wear. You know what I mean? I don't want to wear pants most of the time.
Or undies.
You know what I mean? Like I don't want to drive sober, but I do it. You know what I mean?
You gotta abide by the rules.
I have a fucking Suburban. I don't give a shit what I hit. Like it's not gonna affect me.
Yeah.
And that's the mentality.
My question is this. This might be a dumb question.
There's no such thing as dumb questions.
Can kids go to school without an updated immunization card?
Yes,
they can. Okay.
For how long though?
Only until they're found out. Not in Texas, no.
But
because I was going to say this. I used to be a director for a community center, and they could not join unless they had their.
So isn't that in the same umbrella? With the mask wearing?
This goes to, and there's a lot of people that fight that. The anti-vaxxers. You know what I mean? And that's a lot of misinformation that gets spread because of the internet. So that goes back to
the origins
original,
too, where it came from too, is bullshit.
The original conspiracy
from the anti-vaxxers, that is.
Yeah, and we're not getting into
anti-vaxxers. Yeah.
But basically, like this whole overarching conspiracy of how they want to track us with whatever it is. But the basic gist behind it, and maybe is this the ID that you were talking
ID 2020?
Yeah. So basically, the gist of this is like. What you were talking about, vaccination records, they're very spotty. You know what I mean? Like if you get a vaccination, your doctor may have it, but you may forget what doctor you've gotten. When was the last time you got a tetanus shot? Do you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I know because I have it on record because like I deal with that shit all the time and like it's on my work file. But
I damn near cut my finger off with the fucking box cutter.
But we don't do that anymore. Well, there's a
daily basis
database called Immutrack.
Yeah,
Immutrack is online, and instead of giving you
that only tracks like worldwide. That only tracks something like 45% of all vaccinations.
So let's
given
just
worldwide.
put a chip on us.
So the idea,
right?
It's the idea behind the what they're calling. It's like an ID dot. It's basically a quantum reflective light dot.
Yeah.
It's a piece of material that reflects light a certain way that they can, it's basically like when you get a vaccine, it's basically like your vaccination record implanted on you that can be read.
And you're okay
easily.
with that?
Whoa,
your vaccination record
on you or in you?
Well, it could be also used
this guy's
for other.
sleeved out. Of course, he's fucking okay with it.
I am too, but it doesn't mean that they're gonna be like tracking me or anything.
See, they're not tracking you. I'm talking about like they have to be next to you and scan you to see like, okay, you've had your vaccinations, yes or no.
So what's the difference between that and having a database online?
Because this would be more accurate than the database. That's the whole point
accuracy.
behind it.
So the whole point, what I get from that is just tracking
from
tracking.
being in the United States, like we think of this like, oh yeah, all my shit's online anyway. What do I care? You have to think broader than that and think worldwide. Like there's fucking over somewhere that doesn't.
I don't get that,
all their fucking vaccinations aren't listed.
I don't follow them on Instagram.
That sounds like an alien from
fucking
Fire in the Sky.
It could have been.
What were you saying?
I'm just saying that there's Jim Bob Chinaman that may have all his vaccines, but it's not listed anywhere.
Yeah,
Asian American.
But we shouldn't care about that because we're our own country. Why are we caring about the whole world now?
Because they come to our country.
So
that's the
once
thing
they come in here, you put them in the database.
That's
how do you know what they've already had?
The world
you
follows.
just gave them everything, a fucking cocktail.
That's not the way this works.
But that's the scary thing, though. The world looks up to us too. They see us as like some
Not
kind of
anymore,
leader.
They don't.
Well, no. Well, to be honest, like a lot of them, they do follow us when it comes to a lot of these things.
On
so we're kind of representing. Yeah,
you watch 90 Day Fiance, man. They all want to come to America.
Yeah. The point is, like what I was trying to say earlier,
show
is the tracking part. It could be masked as like, okay, well, for records of, what you're saying, Rava, vaccinations or all that stuff and whatever.
I get it.
Yeah. But at the same time, it could be, just the conspiracy side, right? It could be a ploy just for, another reason to track us.
They tell us, hey, I'm going to give you all these, I'm going to put your database, your vaccination records on this little thing. You can't even see it. Nobody will notice it. Blah, blah, whatever.
Yeah, that's what Facebook said. We're not going to sell your data.
But can you prove that that's what you're putting on?
We're not going to do this. Come on. We can't trust them.
I mean, do you ever like look at your phone and maybe I'll download some porn and you pleasure yourself?
No,
but hold on.
Nice.
Do you not think that maybe there's a camera?
Looking
at someone,
it's funny. I've read that some of the FBI saying we don't care what kind of porn you're looking at or some shit.
The craziest thing is,
I saw that one time.
I don't care about that, but I just think that they're trying to sell you stuff. I'm not kidding. I need an oil change. I've been talking about it for 2-3 days, and I don't ever look it up because my friend does it. I have oil changes. Ads now on my Instagram because but even through text. I don't think it's sinister. I just think they're trying to sell you shit.
Yeah,
I'm not afraid
what
of
does
it.
it stop at?
I mean, but that's another thing. That's the overarching question: is where does it stop? If you let it start, where does it stop?
That's someone who has power
and
or fame and influence.
Thing.
That's someone who should ask themselves that. Yeah. I don't have any of those, so I don't care about it.
But if you don't care about,
but see, that's the thing.
That's the thing. If you don't care about your own civil rights, that's like the whole.
No, I'm not talking about that. They're not going to use it against me.
You don't know that. They'll do whatever they want.
I do know that.
But
it's kind of dressed up.
No,
as
I don't.
Exactly. That's the whole thing. That goes back to the whole what we were talking about earlier with the police. If you have nothing to hide, you shouldn't. It shouldn't matter.
No, I know.
What are you worried about if you got nothing to hide?
Yeah, that bullshit. Yeah,
it matters because
do that to me.
It matters. It matters because it's wrong.
Yes,
I know. It matters because these are the things we drew a line in the sand 244 years ago, and we said these are the things that are right and these are the things that are wrong.
Yeah,
we've had to course correct a couple of times.
Many times.
Okay. But we learn. You live, you learn, and that's what happens. We've tried to be better, and there are things that are pulling society in general. I'm not going to continue pigeonhole like one country, our country, whatever, but just in general societal norms. Like we have decided, over the last 200 to 300 years, we have decided that these are things that are right and these are things that are wrong. There are people that constantly try to pull that back, and we have to course correct and adjust for that, and then slowly those things become accepted as what is right.
But who makes those? Who determines what's right and what's wrong?
Society.
Society that's populated by a certain party, by a certain
and when it comes to that too, it's
gender,
it's arbitrary.
That's what it kind of gets
what
at.
I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying that like the way that all the rules that we have now are correct.
Right, I got you.
What I'm saying is that as a society, as we progress, you see things. If you look at history, we start society just in general has been
immatures and ages exactly.
Yeah,
and it goes with the times, just like right now with change, this might be the norm. And instead of everybody freaking out about it, just kind of understand. I'm not telling you to understand, but just like time changes, lives change over the course of time.
Yeah, generations.
Back in the 40s and 50s, the single family household was not that much bigger than this fucking garage. Now people are buying 2-story homes for a family of 4.
Yeah,
and it's
6,000 square feet homes.
Exactly.
Yeah, for like family of 4.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
This garage is pretty small. I think you're wrong.
Okay. Maybe a double garage. You know what I mean?
I know what you're talking about though, Jake, because I've seen pictures like that.
Exactly.
The houses were small back then.
Yeah, because
the Brady Bunch.
And that's, I mean,
the Brady Bunch had a fucking huge house.
Let's talk about societal norms over the last 300 years. As a society, we have started and grown and come out and said, okay, slavery is wrong. Okay.
Oh, we're going down that road.
I'm just I'm just saying
Example.
we're going down.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah,
We're
obviously.
talking.
No,
We're
I got
talking
you.
about civil rights
Yes.
for
Absolutely.
African Americans, people of color, and then the women's suffrage movement. You know, and then the civil rights movement, and you know, as a society, we are moving towards the right direction constantly.
Are we?
But
To
I
a
mean,
point. Now
to
it
a
sounds like it's
point-
getting too. It's getting too.
I think
too
the whole
extreme.
mask thing. That's why people are
When it
freaking
comes
out
to
because
certain
it doesn't
things.
seem like we're heading to a
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like if you look at it from like the broader perspective, yeah, like it, you know, that's one thing you can do. Like just wear a fucking mask, and I think that people are like, I think they equate like just wear a fucking mask with why do you need an AR-15?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how it
Yeah.
goes. Like, why do you need an assault rifle? You're not in the army. Why do you
And
need
that
an
is
assault?
the question
And
remains
and
the
the
same,
question and
unanswered.
the answer is it doesn't matter why I need
You know,
it. It's
I
my
want
right to
it.
have
Right,
it.
right.
Speaking of guns,
But then when
yeah,
you get a
sure.
bazooka,
You
then we should
realize-
have a bazooka then.
You know,
or a
but
fucking
guns
automatic.
in
weapon.
guns in general
Yeah.
have
Not a
gone
bazooka.
up the roof in sales.
I'm
You
chewing
know
it right
that?
now.
I'm sure they have.
Even
I'm chewing a
liberals,
bazooka right now.
liberals are buying guns too that were anti-gun.
Yeah.
A lot of them are buying guns
So the
now.
NRA's behind
Yeah,
this
I
shit.
know.
It's gone
Yes.
up the
Good for
fucking
them,
roof,
right?
man.
Yeah, good.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
it's
good.
completely
Okay.
changed.
Because
So
it's
we've
like
derailed this into
Yeah.
like 4 different conversations.
Yeah.
So, like, what we need to let's get back to the overarching conspiracy of the COVID-19. So, the theory that I would the question that you have to postulate off of this is
There's that word again.
Postulate,
did we
dude.
did
like
we
it.
Sit up straight your posture, goddammit.
Hey, you gotta postulate a little better.
God
do I
damn
need to
it.
have a dictionary on the hold on, they're going to Google that word to make sure that they answer this correctly.
No, sir. You don't need no Google.
No.
Oh,
Google.
you Googled it the last time I used
Lycos.
it?
I Lycos.
Okay.
Fuck you.
I Lycos.
Lycos.
I use Bing. Let me Bing that real quick.
I ask Jeeves every now and then.
Yeah, no shit. But
Are you going to Alta Vista and searching for Yahoo?
Well, going back to the whole COVID thing, I just think people are just using it for their political agendas.
Yeah, big
Well,
time.
But do you
It's
think
opportunists.
that, like, I think that it's
Because
but
the
everybody
whole
uses anything.
BLM protest, 60,000 people neck to neck, and then that was okay. But now that the bars reopened, that's what's making the cases spike, not the protest. And dude, I was for the protest. I'm not talking shit about the protest. I'm talking about
Logically speaking, it
how
seems
they're like
insane.
no, and now they have scientists. Dude, numbers can be manipulated, and it's crazy. No, it's because it actually helped it. I'm like, but people next to each other, 60,000 people next to each other
Versus like 12 or
compared
15.
to 12 to my neighborhood fucking dive bar, but that has to be closed. See,
Yeah.
and then the Republican, the GOP wanted to have their convention here, and
Was that
Mayor
filled up, or was
Turner
that like,
canceled it.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like okay, it's cool, but why are you okay with something that's for your agenda, but something
Yeah,
that's against
exactly.
it?
So
you
here's
know?
a question.
It's their
Here's a
agendas.
question for you. Do you think that they were okay with letting the Black Lives Matter protest happen because they were afraid of what was going to happen?
I
if
think
they-
there was
If
no
they
choice.
didn't?
There was
Oh, kind of like
that
the
protest was going
kind
to
of like the
happen.
O.J. Simpson thing.
If
Basically,
we say yes, why would they still negate the fact that it didn't create the spike?
because then they looked like the bad guys and they looked incompetent.
Well, that's
You have to
the
play
case.
you got
Yeah.
to play to the least common denominator. You got to realize that like how smart the average person is, and realize that half of them are dumber.
than that, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, you have to like really think like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
what information you're feeding out to the crowd.
Yeah.
It's really easy for us to sit here and be like, that this doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like, there's a lot of people that like don't think things through that far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All they hear and all they see is the headline.
Yeah.
And that's why that's why media is the way it is today.
It's fucking terrible.
It's all headline driven. It's all clickbait and all shit
And
like
that's
that.
all-
You know what I
and
mean?
that's one thing that I was
clip-based,
talking
too.
about.
Very minimal.
Dude.
Hardly any depth to any of the shit.
I know it's kind of more conspiracy based, but there's only like 6 news corporations, and I feel
Yeah.
that they want violence. So I don't know if that's incorporated with
that sells
Antifa.
newspapers.
Antifa,
Yeah.
Negativity. They kind of
Well-
infiltrate a peaceful movement, protest, and then they fuck shit up, and then they sell more advertisement
yeah.
for. So it's a vicious cycle.
Go
and,
to your-
and,
No,
it's so annoying.
Go to your favorite bar or wherever. I guarantee you, most businesses are going to have more negative reviews than anything
Oh, yeah,
positive.
of course.
Because people love negative
Yeah.
shit.
People like
That's
to be
why
a dick, too.
That's why
And
it's
just-
so hard to get a good review.
It's true.
When was
Because-
the last time you went to and made a good review on a bar or on a restaurant that you went to?
Yeah.
Since I work in some things like that, I try to do the good reviews.
I mean, when they ask me to do a review,
You don't.
No, that's not true.
Oh, okay.
No,
I'm
I
sorry.
do 'em.
Most people
If they
don't,
say-
though.
if
Most
they-
people don't.
Like if I'm at a restaurant or whatever, and they're like, "Hey, you know, would you mind filling out this survey
Yeah.
or whatever?" And that survey goes
was telling
towards their
you fucked
reviews
up.
and
Yeah.
things like that. You know, I'll try to make sure that I fill it out. But you're right. People love the negative shit. They love to
Yes.
complain. They want. People are very fast to make a negative review on anything.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean.
I mean, look at-
because they want to complain about it and they want to get that validation from other people.
And I think that's just people. I mean, it's like the paparazzi. People complain about, like, oh man, but who's fucking buying those?
Grab me some of them
those,
EMs while
those
you're in there,
magazines.
Paul.
I mean, the paparazzi makes money because people want to see that.
Watch
I mean, it's
watch your news broadcast, right?
Yeah.
At the very tail end,
No,
they'll be
thanks.
like, no, at the very
No.
tail end, they'll be like, oh, look who made 100 years old. Oh, look at this beautiful little puppy. All the positive shit is at the very tail end of the fucking
The very
broadcast.
end of the
Yeah,
podcast.
because
But-
people love drama,
Yeah.
is what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
And speaking of that, I think a lot of
they
this
are.
stuff was going on. Like, you know, it just seems like there's a lot of manufactured drama going on that's just causing this division. Like even in the COVID stuff, like I said, it seems so obvious, at least to me. To me, it does.
My
And,
COVID.
my COVID, yeah,
My
my
COVID.
COVID. My God damn it! And like that's why I tell my dad, and I tell other people, it's like don't you know, like when it comes to mainstream media, like you're playing into this, like if it feels like the mainstream media to me is like this huge overlord that's trying to divide us. They don't give a flying fuck about
No,
us.
they don't.
Even the
They never
government.
have.
And it just people like don't play that game. Just stay away. I mean,
All
just
about the business, man.
yeah,
It is.
exactly.
It
And it's
is.
Cutthroat
like
business.
me and Randy were talking about the other day. It's all backed by money.
Money.
And it's
Of
all
course.
greed. And
It's
it's
all
all
about
what this is
money.
coming
Well,
from.
but
If they tell you that at the end of the street is $1,000, you're going to run at the fastest you ever ran in your whole life to get
Yeah.
that $1,000.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what it is. Money
So-
makes you do crazy
yeah.
things.
So if you do
Ask
the
a
flip,
hooker.
so if you do the flip side of it though, and you let the government control the media so that you don't have that, then the government controls then you end up with like a North Korea China situation.
yeah, and we'll all be into re-education and all this bullshit, and
But-
that's fucking scary.
So
that's fucked up.
That is the world that we live in though.
Oh, my
we
God.
live in a world of black and white.
But I mean, in this country, we have 4 years to
a certain
experiment,
extent.
and then we'll get somebody else, some other John coming in, or Mary, who knows?
Mary,
it's just it's the truth. But it's like over there in North Korea, you're dealing with this person for the rest of his
That's
life.
true.
Yeah, and that's fucked up.
And the rest of their kids'
that's-
lives.
yeah.
and-
That's real oppression. I met people that escaped from communist countries, and they told me to come here for a better life. And the fucked up shit they had to they love this country. And it's a kind of cracks me up. I'm kind of going off subject a little bit, but some people say how they hate this country and they say this country's terrible. With the people that I met that escaped and come here, why are people coming here? That because they're trying to have a better life.
The grass is always, and you look at the
It's
grass is
fucked
always
up.
greener. You go on like,
But America is the greatest country in the world.
Yeah,
I mean,
There's a lot of other people.
we have a lot of
countries,
things that we do wrong,
But
we have a lot of things that we do right.
That,
Also,
that
Yeah.
sounded sarcastic, but I was being serious. I mean, there's every fucking country has their own problems, but at least you have an opportunity here. It might not be as good as someone from another race, but you still have one.
Yeah, a lot
You
of
know,
them come
the
from
whole
that.
white privilege and stuff.
Yeah,
but
I
you
met
still
a lot
have
of-
you still
we're-
have an
and
opportunity.
Yeah.
I feel like that now that is a vocal talking point, like
Yeah.
that I think that in our lifetimes we will see. I think that we will see the dissolution of systemic racism, or at least
Yeah.
like the very very begin, like not the very, very beginnings of it. We'll see it on a good path to being.
I think we'll see a good path of it. I mean, look at the
I've already
protesting.
have.
Protesting
Like,
was
I've seen-
saturated with mini races.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've met
exactly.
plenty of people from different races that came from nothing, and they're doing way better than me.
Yeah.
They came here to have a better life. They busted ass, and
Well,
it also comes
there's
from like their background too, because like they lived a tough life and an oppressive government and all that shit, and coming to here, it's fucking it's nothing. It's
Yeah.
like this is
So-
it's that's why they come here.
Yeah.
One of the things that we have to there's a lot of disinformation that happens on social media because of Facebook and things like that. Like there's a lot of things that get posted that people just believe right off the bat.
Yeah,
and
don't even bother looking into it.
I'll just
Like my
say
mom.
I'll just say
Jesus.
for an example right now, like there was somebody who was like that posted something on some social media, and it may have been Instagram. I try not to read Facebook but once a day to catch up on see what's going on with some people. But
That's one too many.
it's just because like a lot of my family and stuff is on there, but I think it was on Instagram and somebody or it may have been on Facebook. Anyway,
It was TikTok.
dissolve the point.
Chinese spyware.
It's basically to the Canada did this, like they shut down businesses and they
God.
paid blah 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 blah
Compelled
and then
speech.
and then like you go read through the comments and they're like, yeah, I'm in Canada, that's not true.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
all it takes is that infographic to go viral.
Oh, and then
And
everyone
people
believes
eat
it.
it up.
everyone
Yeah.
believes it.
And then my
Yeah.
mom's calling me and, hey, guess what?
Yeah,
I'm like, no,
yeah.
mom.
They post
Jesus.
something.
Man, no,
Yeah.
no.
They
Where
post-
is the source? The source.
They post a 20
The
second.
source is the post.
Clip
Facebook.
or something.
Yeah, they post a 20-second clip of
And it's out
something.
of context
and then
usually
and it's
sometimes.
something that's going on today, but really that original clip was back in 2006.
Yeah,
And
there's
shit
a lot
like
of that
Yeah,
going
yeah.
on.
There's a
it
lot of
sucks.
and there's
Yeah.
a
Even
lot of
CNN does that. CNN, Fox.
Yeah, they all do that
crop
shit.
out pictures and use
Well, that
all
was
this
somebody,
craziness.
like, they-
manufactured
do-
drama, my
Yeah,
friends. That's
exactly.
what I'm
fake
talking
news,
about.
Fake news.
They
Yeah,
use,
yeah.
Well, I mean, they've been called out on it before.
Yeah.
They use
Both of them.
There was somebody. They were showing. Some news channel was showing pictures, a video of the riots, like the first night of the riots, and apparently, like somebody was like, that's like Bosnia in the fucking 90s, and it
Yeah.
was
Oh,
yeah.
video from
Yeah, I
you
did
saw
see that. I
that,
saw
right?
that, yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, we're sorry."
I think it was like a
somebody,
civil war or
Somebody
something.
edited in the wrong video for this or whatever. It's like,
Somebody
come
okayed
on.
this.
But they do
You
that all the
fucking
time. So you know
Exactly.
that's
Fire
not
the editor.
Yeah.
And that's
Or
and
give the
they
editor a raise. I don't
and
know.
that's
It
what
brings in
that's
the-
the whole thing.
it
It's like
brings
you
in
can
the
print a
people.
retraction and say, "Oh, we're sorry." It doesn't matter. The damage is
Yeah.
done.
See, and I
Right.
think it boils down to it doesn't matter about what's right or wrong. It's about how much money you make.
Yeah. It's
So
always
it's about
about how-
That was
yeah,
like, give that
so-
editor a
so
raise,
it
'cause
always
he did his
boils down to
job.
money.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
knows how to fucking work the
Yeah.
fucking final cut.
It's just like J. Jonah Jameson, man, like fucking Spider-Man, hero or menace.
Yeah, that's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Though. It is
Yeah, that's a good
spinning.
fucking,
It's spinning the fucking
Yeah.
truth. I was gonna say, like, we're talking about money and whatnot. I wanted to bring this up because I've seen it at Exxon, but I think, like I said, about opportunity about this situation, the COVID.
Yeah.
We are heading towards a cashless society.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
This is another point.
I've
That's
seen
good.
Apple
signs.
Pay, bro.
I've seen signs in stores. They say if you're going to pay with cash, you either have exact change or you pay with your
Because
debit
there's a
credit
coin
card.
shortage.
Yes, apparently, yes.
coin shortage,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Mexico
Also,
City,
people
when
don't-
I went
they don't
there,
wanna
they didn't
touch
have
money.
any coins. That was ridiculous.
I
But
was
yeah,
like-
that's not right.
And see-
because they want to control every movement you make.
Yeah.
With
they want you to.
NEP they
yeah.
want to know exactly
Yeah.
how much money you have
But-
coming in and out.
I don't
and
like
track
that,
it.
Rob.
But also, let me ask you guys this. Maybe you guys know a little bit more, okay, about this.
I know you keep impeccable tax records, Randy. I mean, it's just
I have every receipt from since 2013.
Damn. Really?
No,
yeah. There's like seven
Sound
of them.
convincing.
Seven
Fool
receipts.
me, man.
I pumped gas like 8
Fake
times.
news on yourself.
Fake news.
Right. But no, what I was going to say, at least money, cash, coins, right? It's backed. It's actually backed by.
Not anymore. It's not.
It's not.
No, but by gold.
Okay.
and all? No,
okay.
no.
Well then,
for sure.
well then, it's even worse because like when we go cashless society, like it's just numbers on a
Backed by
computer.
Bitcoin.
It's
Yeah.
not
the
it's
way
not,
it's been for a long
I
time.
know,
Very long
I
time.
know that, but it's still boggles my fucking mind. Is like it can be any set. You can just throw numbers. Doesn't fucking matter.
What do you think that stimulus check came from, bro?
I know. Yeah.
And then we all got $1,200, and then the billionaires, and then the billionaires
barely
got so much money. That was
nothing.
That's one thing I hated how the media try to spin the whole like, Black Lives Matter. They have the looters. The looters are the bankers who fucking stole all that fucking money, and
those
Trump didn't make it
transparent,
so we don't know where all that money went to because Trump didn't make it transparency.
And nobody
those are the biggest
either.
looters. Yet we're supposed to talk about this 12-year-old kid that robbed Nikes. Who gives a shit about that? How about the ones who took
those
billions
are the
of
real
dollars,
fucking criminals
trillions
right
of dollars?
But nobody brings that up though.
I know.
You're woke, bro. You're woke.
Wait, who? Me?
No, I'm talking about Randy.
Well, that's the whole thing. We laugh about that.
Laugh at the world, baby.
But like, I mean, honestly, like, I mean, you laugh at it, but I mean, that's something that like it's.
We laugh when something's sad.
See, the thing is, man.
That's coping.
I laugh
for me.
I'm crying.
It's a coping mechanism.
The thing is that if my agenda is to fucking maybe go back to school and succeed to a degree to where I'm able to get into politics. To get into politics and try to make a change. No, that's not my fucking agenda in life, right? Yeah. So I guess you got to voice your opinion for the masses. But how effective is that? We're not going to see that shit in our lifetime.
No.
And we could stir up all this commotion and whatnot, but it's not going to change for generations.
Yeah.
You got to get your voice heard for sure. But I mean,
I think that what we're seeing right now is the civil rights movement of our
absolutely,
generation.
Absolutely.
Yes. And if you think about like,
and then there's change going on.
That's what I'm saying.
Great.
Like, if you look at like where the civil rights movement was when Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated versus to where it is now, how much change happened between now. That's a lot of change, but how much time passed?
Yeah,
and so like we're looking at that now, and like we're gonna look 30, 40 years down the line, and things will be different. But we have to make sure that we keep asking the hard questions and bringing up the hard topics.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
and really questioning.
But if it's also necessary too, because I think a lot of it's overblown and
necessary.
But it's like you said earlier too.
Necessary.
It's like when we started,
sorry.
Where do we stop from it? Like it's just like how far are we going to keep going? And when I speak about that, hold on. When I'm speaking about that, I'm talking about a lot of things like a lot of radicals are trying to bring, and this cancel culture is going on is really ridiculous. People are in fear of their lives for following or just having an opinion, having individual thought and freedom of expression. It's at jeopardy at this point.
Fuck you.
That goes to what I just said. I'm not going to be a fucking celebrity. I don't care about this cancel culture. It's not going to affect me.
Well, see, but that's the thing, though. Like, it's just the goalpost keeps getting further and further of what's okay and what's not okay, and that's what's scaring me. It's like and like I said earlier, it requires too much energy to be, I think the fact is we all should just consideration for others, of course, but at the same time, it's like how far how much energy and how much do we need to dedicate to what's it called to not offend anybody and all this stuff. It's like I've been doing my part all my life. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. But if I talk to somebody that's really radical, they would tell me immediately, "You're the problem," blah blah blah, and this and that. And it's like you've gone way too far. Your logic requires way too much energy. Everybody's not going to go with this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that's the point I'm talking about as far as like when you the stuff that's being overblown, and it's like that's like okay, I think you're taking it too far. It's like we arrived to certain points like where okay, this is fucked up. We let's work on it. But okay, we're good on that, right? Now it's like to me, the way I look at it, it's like okay, like these at least when it comes to the radicals, like what else can we take out? What else can we find, offensive or that's insensitive?
Well, what you're talking
and all
about,
this stuff,
what you're talking about is like the social justice warriors that become offended for everybody else.
On their behalf. Like that's ridiculous.
They're like, okay, like we're gonna do this and we're gonna pull this character out of this and we're not we're gonna do this. And when you really get down to brass tacks and get down to like this is another Robism that Jake likes. When you get down to the meat and potatoes of it, you know what I mean? Like if you let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
Like you talk about something like them pulling that Golden Girls episode for them being in quote unquote blackface.
Oh yeah,
but they're not. They're in mud masks. But they pulled it because it looks like blackface. Talk to black people. They don't give a shit about that.
Exactly.
They want real change. As a society, we should demand real change for these things.
Yeah.
And shit like that is pandering. And it's bullshit. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
All it does is make some white guy in a boardroom feel better about themselves.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do anything more than that.
I know.
And we have to really look as
It's
a
all this
society
false guilt.
and look at it and say, and that, like I was saying earlier, that's this whatever white guilt thing. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to make real change, but you want to do something.
Right.
No, I know.
So
and
like Aaron Paul.
And
Fuck that stupid PSA, those fucking morons. Hey, attention much? You need it? That's all it was.
Christ.
They
See,
wanted
YouTuber.
attention. They haven't been working.
See, and this might just be a dumb thought that I have, but okay, conservatives, like they kind of hate, like, they're scared of immigrants, but that kind of shows them that they're more human compared to liberals who are like, yeah, they kind of seem like they're untouchable to immigrants, so they feel above them. So it's kind of like backwards. I'm not sure where I'm going with this. If
I don't
you
know
kind of
what that is.
Or are they just tired of the
that's-
bullshit?
That's okay. I'll give you an example. I think I know what you're talking about. So
Okay,
I'll give you an example of where I feel that what you're saying comes into play.
Okay.
I had a few years ago, more than a few years ago. This was quite a few years ago. I was working in a small business for a guy who had started this oil change business. Okay. And he was he's an old retired white guy from Schlumberger and started this oil change business.
Yeah.
And he started this business, and his son wanted to start his own business later on. And not his son. One of the guys that I was working there with wanted to start his own business and was trying to get approved for a loan to start this business, and he couldn't get approved for it. His main complaint was another guy that he knew wanted to start a different type of business, but basically around the same investment. And because he was an immigrant, he was approved for it right away.
Yeah. Privilege, baby.
Even though their income levels and backgrounds were basically the same for the industries that we're talking about, at the time, like I was like, well, they give.
It has a name, right? Man, I'm
It's
drawing
not
a blank.
nepotism.
No,
that's family. That's like
the
true
whole
family.
when you're giving minorities.
I mean, it's a privilege.
Affirmative action.
Affirmative action.
That's dumb.
It's pandering. It's what it is.
Yeah.
It's
But
like it's forcing people to have to do the right thing.
It's like making.
But essentially,
like,
it's a
you feel
privilege,
bad,
though.
and it's like no, like. You feel sorry for them, and why should you do it? No, like,
and that's
it's
all
dumb.
that kind of get and what all that does is create more issues because what that creates is from a a white quote unquote white standpoint that person is like I'm underprivileged. I don't have money.
Yeah.
Like I grew up poor.
Yeah.
Uneducated, but I have a good work ethic and I want to start this business and it's going to succeed.
Yeah, exactly.
But you want to prove me, but this guy comes over here, has this exact same background.
But just
because he's an immigrant, you'll invest in that because and they get tax breaks and things like that.
Yeah.
All that does is create animosity and
Yeah.
divisiveness.
No, I
know.
It's
That's
like-
all it does.
It's true. It's true.
It's like
I agree.
James Lindsay, he was on Joe Rogan's podcast. He was saying basically a lot of these people they're looking at the initial like, okay, yeah, it's good to do that because we're helping them out, but the outcome, the end result of what's going to happen, just like you said, Rob, it creates more problems than it's solving actual problems, and that's where it gets twisted and all fucked up, and we're going.
No, and it is a fucked up situation, but it works both ways, man. Because if we could bet our bottom dollar, like let's bet our paycheck, like two individuals go to the same school and graduate with the same GPA and everything, and just that one's name is Ryan and the other one's named Lucretia, who's going to get the fucking job.
Yeah.
For the most part, we're going to probably go and bet on Ryan. That's going to get the fucking job.
It depends.
Well,
I
you
mean,
know,
it depends because like I was saying with the like affirmative action thing, like Lucretia may get the job.
Yeah, but if you were to bet right now, that's not being real.
On paper, yeah, because I mean, there's a lot of systemic racism.
Of course, but I know if you see the
I
type of company, or if they're trying to be like, okay, we want to, bring in the minority. They may not be fitting the job. Yeah, if you want to go deeper into it, sure, yeah, but that goes with the affirmative action, which is not right.
You know, a lot of things too. A lot of companies, especially Google, that report that James Damore, I believe his name was. A lot of companies are basically saying that if they are white and if they're male, it depends. Okay, let's just say with Google, there's a Google report saying that basically, they were saying that in HR and the hiring process that if they're white, Asian, and male, we don't want them. If we want more diversity, we want the hell with competence, like the right person for the right job, and James Lindsay also said a good point too. Like it depends. Like especially certain jobs. He said like when he was flying one time, the people that are the flight controls.
Air traffic controllers.
Yes.
You gotta be on.
You have to know what the fuck you're doing.
Have you ever seen that movie?
Very highly skilled job.
Right.
If you hire somebody that's incompetent and doesn't know what they're doing, you're putting lives at risk. But you're just doing it for the sake of just being diverse.
Same thing will go in pilots.
But being the sake of being diverse and hiring because of that over competence and the right person in the job, that's dangerous. We're playing dangerous games by doing that.
As being racist, hiring someone for just being
exactly.
white.
How is that? How is that not fucking racist? I mean,
we've gotten way off topic.
Way
off topic. This is like the most political. But that's what it's turned into.
I know.
I mean, and honestly, like that's like you don't want like it sounds ridiculous to say that, but I mean that's basically where it's going. It's the media has turned the pandemic into a divisive thing,
heavily dividing everybody,
and it's turning friend against friend, and people are shaming people for not wearing masks, and things like that.
And can I just bring something up? The media keeps on kind of pushing this agenda. It's about race. It's about parties. Ultimately, it's a class war, but they don't want that. They don't want us to realize that it should be a class war. They're trying to make it into a race war, into red, blue, left, right.
Yeah, but Crips and Bloods, baby.
Right?
Well, what
Trump's a biggest blood.
What they're doing,
but it should be a class war.
It is a class war.
No. But people don't talk about that.
No, but it's a class war between the lower class and the middle class.
Yeah, see, and it should be about the highest versus the billionaires.
Exactly.
Yes.
But they exclude themselves from it. Because it's always the middle class is under attack. The middle class is under attack. When you really look at it, like the upper 1%, like it should be us versus them.
They're laughing.
But,
exactly.
But they control all the information.
Yeah.
They control everybody's paychecks.
And
way to go, Paul.
Aaron Paul, way to go, goddammit.
I'm gonna add onto your list. Don't touch things after you're drinking.
Rule 8. Rule 9, fuck yourself too.
It's gonna have to be this Paul.
Right?
Got a quick question, okay? And this is me throwing some, I don't know, what out there, but in your Facebook feed, because we don't want, dabble with Facebook that much, right? Apparently, from what I hear from this podcast. But on your Facebook feed, the ones that are very passionate on their side, who would you say is more passionate? Like, because I guess it depends on your friends, right? But would you say like the liberal side is more passionate in voicing their opinions, or the conservative side is more passionate in voicing their opinions?
I'm curious. Passionate or hostile?
I'm gonna throw something out there real quick, and I'm gonna let you.
I want to hear.
I'm gonna let you
hostile
see.
And angry.
I'm gonna let you make your judgment on this.
Okay,
if you're on Facebook, it's mostly conservative. You're gonna see a lot of conservative shit. This is what I see.
Okay.
When you're on Facebook, it's a lot of
different
conservative shit. If you're on Instagram or Twitter, it's mostly liberal shit.
Especially Twitter.
Breitbart, you might be conservative. Yeah, I know.
That's
but I'm talking about from your friends.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think that like as far as like where my friends tend to vocalize is on
Facebook.
the conservative side
No.
tends to vocalize on Facebook.
But I
and-
think
and
what
the
Jake
liberal
is
side-
trying to say, which I'm going to respond to, is I think from my friends, the
You're
left
not
side.
even on social media though. Like how can you have?
The left side. No. I'm saying in real life, Rob. You know, there's a thing called
IRL,
real life.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
The internet is such
No,
a
I have
fantasy.
not left my house in a week, so
not-
no, I don't know what IRL is.
Classic.
Not everyone
Rob.
has an iPhone 6 and above.
It's so
I would
tiny,
just like,
man. It's so tiny.
I would just like to say,
like my dick.
I'd just like to say, Randy pulled up in a fucking Corvette tonight with an iPhone 4S.
Yeah, it's like
That's
a
contradicting there, but
like
all
an
right.
iPhone 4 SE or
No,
something
no,
like
no,
that.
4S. Yeah, I forgot about that shit.
Hey, there's reasons behind that, all right?
There's no reason.
There's some
It
craziness.
doesn't make sense.
There's some mental illness behind it.
Mental illness, yes.
Everybody's a little psycho in their
I
life.
own my shit, all right? But no. But going
Fucking
on
Mark White
what
over
you're
here.
saying,
Yeah.
I do think that my friends, the ones who are more liberal are the ones who are more vocal. And then the ones who are more Republican are more kind of like just, I mean,
really?
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
have a lot of shit to say, but they don't want to say it because they're afraid.
They're
Really?
gonna get demonized.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, they're
I'm
really.
afraid. I don't wanna say it.
A lot of.
I'll say it right now.
I-
God damn it. Get rid of
Yeah, no, I agree with Randy. I feel the same way. A
Yeah.
lot of them, they get a lot of people like they take. It seems like on the left side that a lot of them are just like they're okay. They'll just
Yeah.
say whatever. On the right, anything remotely, whatever, just immediately racist, chastised, bigoted, homophobic, transphobic, all this other shit. It's
Yeah.
like Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
I can see
Yep.
that too. Yeah.
Yep.
Like, so are we not
here's-
allowed to think and have our own opinions?
So
Exactly.
here's what I see.
You take that weed
and this is just
yourself.
my
I'm
opinion.
not a part of that weed.
I'm not. Well, I didn't mean like as
Royal
conservative. I mean everybody in general.
I ain't
Yeah.
French.
I say
we leave it.
I say the
So-
doctor needs to go to the WHO
Yeah.
and fix that shit over there.
So
Final
this,
thoughts?
This is what I see. I see, like if you have a liberal friend, and let's say you have a bunch of liberal friends, and I have a bunch of liberal friends, and I agree with a lot of things that they have to say, but if I say anything remotely conservative against what they say, like you're automatically branded. You're a Trump lover, and you're a
Yeah.
racist,
Yeah.
and you're a
Yeah.
bigot.
Yeah.
But and like on the flip side of that, like you don't have to support.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a quote unquote Trump
Yeah.
lover and agree with the things
Right.
that he says
Rob,
and his
exactly.
agenda
Rob,
and things like that.
I'm in the middle. I don't have that many friends who I can talk to about politics because I talk shit about both sides and they all
Yeah.
hate me.
Yeah, no,
So
I'm there
right
with
in the middle,
you, man.
I won't call myself like a
Libertarian?
Yeah. I mean, fucking like Ron Paul.
Centrist. Hell-
Like, yeah. But
That's my baby, though.
But
Hey,
no.
don't say fucking
But
Ron
the problem
Paul.
is,
I'll fuck Ron
but
Paul.
I do
Hell yeah.
like to be in the
whoa,
middle.
whoa! What'd you just say?
No, I'm listening to Randy here.
Nice cover up, Jacob.
I'm
That was,
listening to Randy.
that was a good diversion. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure I boost the volume
Yeah.
on that one little clip.
Yeah, throw that gain in there. Get the AC unit in it. Bring
No,
everybody.
but,
to the
Randy,
love.
but I mean, I don't know why I do it, but I just like to talk shit about both sides.
Yeah,
because
I'm with you
both
on that
sides
too.
are
'Cause-
fucked.
Yeah,
Well, that's what happened.
Biden and Trump.
We should
are,
not
wow.
have.
yeah.
Well, that's. I mean,
Kanye though. Kanye, baby,
Wow.
is gonna come save the
Kanye
day.
is just going to help Trump, and that's it. I
Yeah,
mean,
Kanye's
Kanye's
gonna
helping
help
Trump.
Trump.
Everybody's saying, basically because of that. But I just don't understand about this. Telling people who they should vote and who they
Yeah, I
based
know.
on their skin color too. That's bullshit.
Well,
That's,
I think
people
like,
are allowed to think what they want to think.
Here's what I
Don't take
think.
that away from them.
Here's
Sure.
what I mean.
Absolutely.
Honestly, like it sucks that like we are in 2020 and our best choices for president
Are Biden
are
and
pedophile
Trump.
Joe
Yes.
Biden who
And-
can't keep a train of thought going for more than a minute and a half.
Well,
and Donald Trump
Egotistical Trump, yeah.
and narcissistic,
oh my-
egotistical
yeah.
Trump.
He-
But
he
we were in
is
that same predicament in
crazy.
2016 too. We had a
But-
criminal.
True.
I mean, even
But
though Hillary, whatever.
Honestly, I would have like as much as all the shit that happened surrounding Hillary, looking back and all the stuff that like has surrounded Trump, I'd kind of like Clinton going with the Clinton. It's just like Yeah, I'm good with the old guard. Let's just go with that a little bit further.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But you figure
I kind of like how Trump was the wild card, so fuck it. I mean, this is what.
Well,
I mean,
what
we
we're talking
voted.
about.
Okay.
It's like that scene in Little Nicky at the very beginning of Little Nicky where John Lovitz falls out of the tree from peeping Tommy on, and like the bird. He's like, oh,
Well, it's
you're the guy.
ladies' night.
You're the guy that likes to be the big bird peeping Tom on. So now you're going to get raped by a big bird for all eternity. He's like, oh,
yeah, well,
I
it's
deserve
ladies'
this.
night.
I deserve this.
And
Yeah,
it's
we deserve this.
Yeah,
Dude, that was a really good Sam Kinison
I'm listening,
impression,
Paul.
by the
I'm
way.
listening.
yeah, no shit.
I'm listening, Paul.
Okay,
Very good.
But you figure, okay, it's 2020. Independence or Green Party, because of social media and the internet, all this, the information we have, it's the information age.
No, we
You
have a two-party system, Paul.
Yeah, I know, but you
Two-party
figure
system.
now would be the
Ridiculous.
time for somebody on that side to be
Okay,
to
throw
be
away your
heard.
vote.
No, seriously, to be heard.
Yeah.
I
Back
agree.
then, I could
Yeah,
see it was
of
hard
course.
because it was hard to get. It was hard to hear all these people, but because of the internet and you
Yes,
could easily
social media platforms.
But
There
it
should be
seems
more
like
choices.
There should be.
But you
But there's
figured
not.
that, but it feels. I think it's suppressed
media
on
thing.
purpose. It's suppressed.
Bernie should have
They
won
are
the fucking
hiding that
nomination.
shit. I
Bernie
feel
should have
honestly. I wasn't supportive for him, but I honestly feel bad for the guy. He got
I think we
cheated
should go back.
again.
See,
He
I don't
got
care.
cheated
I don't
again.
care because I already paid off my student loans, so fuck it.
I think that we should go back to the old system in like the
Fuck
first
it.
and second, third,
Do
fourth
duels?
elections. No,
Yeah,
whoever
that's a good
loses the election is the vice president of the winner.
Yeah. I mean, it used to be like
I
that.
say they
Thomas
race.
Jefferson stopped that.
so
It's a race, fucking Fast and the Furious style.
Yeah.
Too soon, Junior.
You like that?
That was fucking great, man.
If you,
That was
don't, hey, if
good.
you don't know what we're talking about, check the Instagram page. It's
Yeah,
fucking
get
great.
our Instagram feed.
But,
Shit,
how
I'll
about-
fucking race.
yeah. How about this, guys? How about final thoughts?
Yeah.
You know,
All
we
right,
go
final
from
thoughts.
you go.
Me first, okay.
Because you always go
final
last.
thoughts.
It's like
Final
30
thoughts on
minutes.
COVID. I mean, I think that it's a pandemic. It's been blown out of proportions. It's hard to find factual information, especially in the age of the internet, because that's your only source. And every media
Yeah.
outlet, every search engine is controlled by somebody with an agenda. So it's hard to find actual factual information revolving or involving actual numbers and what's going on. So the only thing you can do is trust the companies that are meant to track these things and paid to track these things. You're wadding up your notes. You're like, fuck these
So
notes.
what?
Oh, because he spilled beer all over.
Yeah.
Oh.
That wasn't me.
They're
Anyway,
all up in here.
So I mean that's one of the things that this pandemic has pointed out. But
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it goes for anything really. Like that's just in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah. I pretty much you said a lot of what's on my mind. It's just overblown. It's an opportunity. I don't think that this was because I always heard fuck you asshole. I've heard that people were saying that like this was done by design or on purpose. I think no, this was an opportunity. that the government or certain people have agendas they just want to take advantage of and use it to their to their you're gonna press something, aren't you? You fucking prick. I saw your fingers. You had the ready position, you prick.
All right, fine.
Darn tootin'.
All right, cocksucker. But yeah, pretty much it is what it is. It's overblown. To me, it seems like it was an agenda. They took advantage of an opportunity and now they're playing it, and we're all fucking. A lot of people are falling for it, and I gotta say, just don't fall for it. Don't play these fucking games that the media wants you to do and divide us, man. We're better than that. And I don't know. There just seems like there's a huge silent majority that just wants to be left alone. Leave me be. I got my own problems, just like everybody else's. I'm not going to project it on everybody. No. Let's be responsible. Let's be adults, and let's learn. Just love thy neighbor and just fucking get along, man. That's it.
All right. Well,
Randy, what do you think?
Randy.
I gotta say, I'm just trying to look towards the future. Because we're all fucked right now. Biden, Trump, whoever wins,
Kanye.
fucking
Kanye.
yeah. I mean, and I'm just thinking about like the future, like 10 years from now. There's gonna have to be a war. war kind
Bring it
of
on,
like
baby.
corrects things. You know, because
We haven't had a war in a while.
well,
It seems like we already
We've been
gone
in
through
war.
one.
What are you talking about? We haven't had a real war in a while.
in
not
our,
a
real
war.
in our own country.
Fucking Syria has been a proxy war. Hello,
I think you
proxy
mean-
war
I think you
between
mean
the Russians and
domestically.
come on.
Do you remember?
mean
do
locally?
remember, I mean, like the U.S. involved in like an actual war.
Yeah,
You remember
we're-
sitting in your living room? Me and you were sitting in your living room the first night of the invasion of Iraq. You remember that?
2003, yes.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
remember we were watching that, drinking beers.
Yeah, yeah.
And we were like, "Damn, I can't believe this is happening." And then like
Yeah.
the next day, they were like, "All right, we're in Baghdad." The cap. We're like,
And
"Jesus Christ! It only took like 24 hours."
Yeah, I know. Well, now it's all proxy wars and fucking
Yeah.
using ISIS as proxies and shit like that. But we're okay. This is my final thought. All right. So,
Jerry's
I
final
think
thought.
I think the focus is Iran next.
Oh,
Yeah, Iran is
Way to
is-
take it
is
left
next.
turn, oh, right turn.
they
Right
started
or
it,
left or
then they're like,
straight?
"Oh fuck,
It's
COVID
probably
hit. Let's
straight
pause
turn.
that shit real quick."
Yeah. So to be continued. I think I think this whole shit is just kind of like it's just gaslighting society, and the real motive is always money. And there's going to be a big war to kind of readjust the economy and the way of life, and then kind
You
of.
think it'll be a civil war?
That's
no?
where-
Well, not.
Do you think they'll?
Oh, here?
Do you
I
think that
think
there'll
so.
ever be an uprising in America against the upper class?
I hope so. Yeah.
I don't know
hope
if it'll be the upper class. I think it'd be just left versus right,
I
seems
mean,
like, at this point.
shit can't stay the same.
Okay,
Interesting.
All right.
Jake.
Very interesting. My take is with the COVID, the BLM, everything is right now. People think that just because it doesn't affect me, fuck it, whatever. But in reality, on both cases, is
And that's all we have time for. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
no. In both cases, is that if you never really witnessed that or been through that, you really don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and that's just the truth. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about because I'm not black.
Yeah.
So I cannot comprehend on what they're going through. I can try to understand it, but I'm never going to fully understand it.
But I mean, like as a minority,
Yeah.
Oh, I understand
Like, I
my
mean,
part of
Yeah.
Right.
about being a minority.
like,
Yeah, sure.
I really don't
But
understand.
listen,
Yeah.
listen,
Yeah.
And like recognizing that you don't understand
Right.
it is a big.
that's part of that's half
yeah.
the battle. To be honest with you,
And that's great.
and I haven't had COVID, but I also have.
You will.
You don't know.
And
that.
I have been tested.
Straight up.
I've been coughing on
Just
you
wait.
all night, buddy.
No, and I have been tested, but no, like I said, I don't have COVID, so therefore, me making a big deal about not wearing a mask, I guess it's justified, right? Because I don't have it, but I also have 2 kids at home, and I got to think about that, and that's why I'm gonna take every type of precaution, whatever it is. And those
I got 2
people
kids, too.
that make a big deal about it, just because you don't fully understand it or it doesn't affect you, I think that's very unfair.
Yeah.
To society in general. It's not doing any harm to society. So why make a big deal about it?
Because you can't look fly on the beach in a mask during spring break. That's why.
Good call. But I mean, but then again,
I
the caveat to that, I totally
That was very
understand.
sarcastic. I, didn't think
I can
about
hide
that.
my iPhone 4, but I can't hide my mask, bro.
No, like I said, the caveat to that is like I totally get. We should always be on guard because once you crack that door to let them into the room, it's
Exactly.
over. And I
And
get it.
I
But
agree with
always be on guard.
But like, I agree with Randy's point. Also, like, we got to pick our battles, and
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like this is probably not one of those battles that we should pick.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
Mask
I don't know.
don't matter.
There's a good amount of people.
That's masks don't matter. Oh wait,
Black masks don't matter.
Table
Or get a Nike
cable
mask that
conditioned
just
lives
says, "Just
matter.
do it."
Just do it.
I'm out of that. I'm not part of that fucking. That's
I just want to get a picture of the lower half of my face printed on a mask, so that when I wear it, it doesn't look like I'm wearing a mask.
yeah. Is that so hard to ask for? I mean,
So with that being said, I think we should all throw in some Gentleman No Class face masks. Maybe.
Oh no.
No?
We're gonna get some gentlemen no class face masks.
Why not? Fuck it.
Shit, why not?
God damn, we don't know how long it's gonna be.
It's not gonna go away, Paul. It's the new norm. Get ready.
I hate
It'll
that term.
It'll filter. Not everybody's gonna be wearing it, but
The new norm sounds
it's gonna be
so,
like, I'm going to a concert and I have this douche wearing a mask. It's gonna happen.
on stage trying to sing.
There you
Yeah.
go. And on that,
Jesus.
And on that note, before we end the episode, I just want to give a big shout out to our sponsor over at Eureka Heights at I always say this wrong, but I think I got it correct this time. At 941
You always say
West
941.
18th Street. I always say 914. But I think it's 941 West 18th
What a
Street,
jerk
Eureka
off.
Heights Brewing Company. They did close down the tap room again.
Yeah, it's okay.
per the orders, but
but I want my beer. God damn it!
you should
How do I
go
get my beer?
Go by there. Go through the
There
drive-through.
you
They
go.
just did a whole revamp of the outside. They have this really cool, like on the entryway, like it says, where you normally walk into the brewery. It says beer and high fives now on that wall in yellow, and they repainted the whole.
Take some of the yellow.
Take some of the yellow. Don't be stingy.
Some of the
Oh,
blue,
cheap
some
on
of the
me.
yellow.
So, anyway, make sure you go support our friends over at Eureka Heights. Go through the drive-through. It's touchless. It's COVID friendly.
Whoa!
order your
Wait,
shit.
be COVID friendly. Like if you had
You're
COVID,
not going to get
If you have COVID,
Oh,
they're okay with you.
No, because we say
Oh,
COVID friendly,
oh.
like bring it on the COVID.
No.
Cough on us.
Stas is the last time I was over there. Stas was the one man, and she was like, she was wearing a mask, and we talked, and they loaded everything in the back of my car.
Oh, yeah.
I was able to pay wirelessly or whatever. So
Yeah.
it was real quick. In
With
and
that
out.
Apple Pay, I see.
Yeah, I
Cashless
did do that. Apple
society.
Pay, cashless society.
You're
Speaking
part
of
of the
cashless
problem.
society,
Paw.
if you would,
Yeah.
if you are listening to the show and you would like to buy us a beer, you can go on Venmo and you can send us some cash. We would appreciate it. If
you
would
don't
like
have to, though.
You don't have to. But if you would like, keep the show going, keep the show rolling on Venmo, we are at Beer Me. Damn it. And that will, we use that money to restock the beer fridge and keep the content flowing to you. So it's at Beer Me -Dammit, DAMMIT, the correct way to spell it.
Yeah.
Like Blink-182 did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's where I got that from. So
Yes.
There you go.
if you would like to send us some, reparations for beer.
Shekels,
Reparation.
throw some shekels.
Cashless shekels.
Yeah,
God
cashless
damn it.
shekels.
Because we're thirsty.
Yeah, we are thirsty. We
Oh,
do
yeah.
drink a lot of beer. So, and on that note, I have been Rob,
Called.
Randy.
And I'm Jake.
and we will catch you on the next one, guys.